Hey guys, what's up? For the last 2 weeks, I have been watching every minute of the Olympics. Rio has been the first Olympics that I have been actively watching from start to finish. Now that the games have come to an end, I would like to recap for you all on what went down in beautiful Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. August 5th was the start of the 31st Olympiad with the opening ceremony. My previous video talked about some of the highlights from the opening ceremony, and you can watch that video right here. Since this is a video about recapping the games, here are some memorable highlights of the opening ceremony anyways. Giant crabs and insects that help shape the terrain of Brazil. The Alien-esque rope string performance as performed by the descendants of the once original natives of Brazil. Gisele Bündchen taking her final catwalk to the classic tune, The Girl from Ipanema. The longest parade of nations that I've ever seen, including Michael Phelps carrying the flag for the USA in this, his first opening ceremony, Peter F. of Tonga, and the inclusion of the Olympic refugee team. And last but not least, 2004 Olympic marathon runner Danzon de Lima lighting the cauldron, and thus Rio was ready to go. From August 6th to August 21st, the whole world was watching as the athletes were giving it their all to prove that they are the best and to get those medals as well. The USA was unstoppable when it came to the pool. Katie Ledecky returned for her second Olympics, as I had forgotten that she had previously competed in London back in 2012. In Rio, Katie showed the world that she is well on her way to become the next best swimmer of all time. She left Rio with 5 medals, and on top of that, she broke her own record in her favorite competition, the 800 meter. A first happened for the USA when Simone Manuel became the first African-American woman to win gold in the individual. It wasn't all about the girls though, as the guys showed off their stuff as well. Returning swimmer Nathan Adrian took home 2 gold and 2 bronze. Not bad, Adrian, not bad. Also returning was 2000 Sydney winner Anthony Irvin, who after coming in 5th in 2012 in London, left Rio with 2 gold medals. Anthony, who at age 35 goes to show you that in the Olympics, age means nothing as long as you have the drive and the determination. And last but not least, the most decorated Olympian of all time, the man, the name, the legend, Michael Phelps. Michael came to Rio to show the world that he is still the best by taking home 5 gold medals and 1 silver in this, his final Olympic Games. Michael now has a grand total of 28 medals overall. 23 gold, 3 silver, and 2 bronze. Was Rio really the last time that we'll ever see a Phelps? He says that he's done, but we'll see once 2020 gets a little bit closer though. USA's David Badaya left Rio with a silver and a bronze. In London, he left those games with a gold and a silver. Also in diving was the big shocker that came to the UK's Tom Daley when he literally splashed out of making the 10-meter platform final. Tom didn't go home empty-handed though, because he won the bronze previously in his synchronized dive. When it comes to this sport, the women dominated every time. Team USA owned Rio, thanks to Ali Reisman, Gabby Douglas, Loy Hernandez, Madison Koshin, and Simone Biles, as they won the hearts of everyone and took home the most gold as well. The final 5 said is what they called themselves as a nice tribute to their mentor and coach, Marta Caroli, who after Rio would be stepping down as the head of the U.S. gymnastics along with her husband, the legendary Bella Caroli. Also, on the men's side, the U.S. didn't do too bad either, thanks to Daniel Lavea taking home 2 silvers. Let's just get it out of the way right now. Usain Bolt. Usain once again showed the world he's still the world's fastest man by winning his triple-triple, which is winning the 100, the 200, and the 4x100 meter relay in 3 games back-to-back. This is a feat that had never been attempted before. Ashton Eaton proved to the world that he is still the world's greatest athlete of all time by winning his 2nd decathlon. Mo Farah of the UK reclaimed the gold once again in the 5,000 meter. There were also 2 firsts that happened on the track, both to the USA. Evan Yeager won the silver in the steeplechase, becoming the first American to do so since 1984, and Matt Centrowitz made history by taking the gold in the 1,500 meter relay. The last time the U.S. won this was 108 years ago. In track and field, it's usually all about the men, but at Rio, it was the ladies who truly ruled the track. Brianne Thiessen Eaton, Ashton Eaton's wife, didn't do too bad in her event, the heptathlon, coming in 3rd with the bronze for Canada. Allyson Felix became the most decorated female athlete in this sport by winning her 5th overall gold medal thanks to her teammates Tori Bowie, Tiana Bartoletta, English Gardner, and Moralik Akunasan. Just like the men, the women had their own firsts at Rio as well. The USA swept the podium in the 100 meter hurdles thanks to Brianna Rollins, Nia Ali, and Christy Caslin. Also, the other first went to Michelle Carter in the shot put, becoming the first African American female to win gold in that event. Rio wasn't easy for the USA as both the men and the women really had to give it their all. In indoor volleyball, both the men and the women came very close to being eliminated, but in the end, they both each took home the bronze for the USA. Let's now go to Copacabana Beach for some fierce beach volleyball action. USA's Phil Dahlhauser and Nick Lucena were doing very well in the beginning, but unfortunately, they lost in the quarterfinals to Brazil. For the men, Brazil ultimately would go on to win the gold thanks to their star players, Alisson and Bruno. Those 2 are fierce when it comes to playing this sport. On the women's side, Carrie Walsh-Jennings and April Ross did better for Team USA by taking the bronze against Brazil's female best players, Larissa and Talita. Galen Rupp of the U.S. competed in this event for the 2nd time. He went on to win the bronze. Kenya and Ethiopia took the gold and the silver respectively. Both the men and the women brought home the gold for the U.S. The women, however, played much better than the men did, as they had some pretty scrappy games in the beginning. For the men, Rio makes this their 3rd consecutive win, and for the women, their 6th. Rio was also the last time that Coach K of Duke would be coaching and being the head of USA Basketball for the last 11 years. Not a bad way to go out, Coach K. Not a bad way at all. When it comes to this sport, this is where it really counts for Brazil, as once again, they went up against their foes, Germany. Previously, Brazil lost to Germany badly at the World Cup in 2014. It all came down to one last penalty kick, and thanks to Neymar, he went on to win the gold for his country. I'm so glad that Brazil did take home the gold, as it was the redemption they so desperately needed. During these games, I also watch a ton of other sports that don't really get a lot of attention. Here are some of them. Rowing, in which the women won the gold for the USA. Canoe and kayaking, fencing, equestrian, various forms of cycling, and even a bit of golf, which made its return after a long absence of nearly a century. Michael Phelps' now iconic death stare at rival South Africa's Chad le Clos. Afterwards, Michael told interviewers that he did not even see Chad, but we all know better. If Chad had stayed there just even a bit longer, Michael was ready to pounce on him. Speaking of Phelps, his bruised back and shoulders had everybody talking. Those purple blotches that covered him was due to a form of therapy called cupping, which a lot of other athletes use and say that it's really good form of releasing stress. But for me, I personally wouldn't want to do this kind of therapy, as it looks like you've been wrestling an octopus and you've been losing. The diving pool turning a swampy green overnight, which was caused by algae growing due to the wrong chemicals being added into the pool. Gabby Douglas receiving unnecessary hate for claims of her lack of patriotism and not cheering on her fellow teammates as well. This led to the hashtag #LoveForGabbyUSA to show her that we love and appreciate everything that she does. And lastly, USA's Abby D'Agostino and New Zealand's Nikki Hamblin tripping over each other in the 5,000 meter qualifier. Instead of Nikki just picking herself up and going on, she stayed to make sure that Abby was able to get up and continue as well. They both crossed the finish line together, but that's when Abby found out that she had severely damaged her leg. Because of what Nikki did for Abby, they were immediately advanced to the finals, but Abby was not able to participate as her leg was more damaged than she originally thought. Nikki ran instead, but she did not medal. Because of the act that was shown by Nikki to Abby, they both were awarded the Pierre de Coubertin Medal for Sportsmanship for showing the true Olympic spirit. We now come to the conclusion of the 31st Olympiad. After 16 days of competition, it was time to say goodbye. Some of the highlights from the closing ceremony were the following. Parrot dancers forming various landmarks of Brazil and of the iconic 5 rings. One of Brazil's most famous icons, Carmen Miranda, the parade of flags in which Simone Biles was chosen to carry the flag for the USA. This caused a bit of a backup as all the athletes that were filing into the stadium were stopping to take photos with Simone. And can you blame them? Who wouldn't want a photo with Simone? Japan's epic teaser of just how 2020 was gonna look like, thanks to Hello Kitty, Pac-Man, Doraemon, and even Mario himself. This teaser gives us a good indication that Tokyo is going to be very memorable. The Olympic cauldron being extinguished as Brazilian singer Marine de Castro sang underneath a waterfall, and the grand finale arrived with a big carnival party filled with dancers, floats, and fireworks. Let's now take a final look at the medal count for Rio. The USA had the highest with 121. This is the most the US has ever won. Most of these medals were because of the women, as they were the ones who won the most gold of these games. China came in second with 70, the UK in third with 67, and the host country, Brazil, with 19. Rio saw many countries getting their first ever medals. Those countries were Fiji, Turkey, and Kosovo. Also, the following countries got their first ever gold medals. Now that the games have ended, I can say that originally I did have my doubts, just like everyone else did, that Brazil was not going to make the Olympics on time due to various problems. However, I can now say that having watched the entirety of these games, Rio proved all doubters wrong, that they were able to make it on time and they made an enjoyable experience for everyone. Rio 2016 for me will be one of the Olympic Games that I will remember for a long time to come. I also think that Rio is going to go on to become one of the best games of the 21st century. After watching Rio, I have Olympic fever like no other. I so wish that I was an athlete. I really do. Maybe there's still time though, as there are a lot of athletes who haven't competed in their first Olympic Games until they were well into their 30s and their 40s. So maybe I still have a chance. Well, this concludes my Rio 2016 Olympics Rewind. I hope you've all enjoyed this video and that I would like to hear from you in the comments what were your favorite moments of Rio 2016. Until next time, I hope you all are doing well and that you've had a great summer as well. Thanks again for watching. Bye guys. Bye.